Hello, everybody. We are back in our classroom, and I am going to do a video on further explaining tarot. And because I had done like an intro video, which was like a quick run through of the meaning of every tarot card. Okay. There's a train going by, so I'm going to take this opportunity to pause and get some stuff out, and then we'll talk about it. Okay. So I have a stack of tarot cards, and then I have a stack of oracle decks. And this is pretty much everything that I have. I think I still have like maybe one or two decks inside. Yeah, because I don't have Moonology out here, and that's like a really, really cool Oracle deck. Um, and then I don't have that like old one that I told you I got from Five Below, but that was a traditional tarot deck. And I just don't like the meanings of it. There's like a lot of trains going on right now. So I'll probably pause again right now because I don't like the sound of them, whether or not they pick up on the microphone. Okay, we have a break in the trains for right now. So let me just start out. Here, this is the gold foil tarot. And what I will do is like I'll give each deck an opportunity to tell itself about or tell us about itself, okay? So, we personify everything in this world because we are humans, right? When we watch animals and things like that, we're always like, "Oh my gosh, that one's doing this and that one's and we have no idea what they're doing. Like you can watch and think that you know, but anyway. So, I'm telling you that that everything is a symbol, right? Everything involves symbolism, and that's really what tarot is. It's like living, breathing symbolism for things that are going on in your life that when you try to talk to somebody about those things, they're like, "Oh, don't worry, blah, 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 blah." It's like they totally um, dismantle these feelings within you that are true, and then you're trying to express to somebody, and it's like they got no love for you because they're trying to make you feel better about it. Okay. And that is like so unhelpful when you need somebody to understand what you're going through and just sit in the mud with you. That's my friend Amy says that. She said like that, we just need to sit in the mud together. And that's all it really is. It's like when you're feeling down, you need somebody to talk to about it. And then you need to not dwell on it. And as a matter of fact, those people don't really need to say anything other than, I understand. I understand. Not try to talk you out of it, not try to tell you what to do instead of it. Women, take note of this. Okay. So if your man ever talks to you about anything, you're not trying to fix it for him. And men, take note of it because women will do this. They'll talk to you about their problems. They don't want you to fix them. They just want you to witness them. Okay. All right. And it's not going to like take your lady out of her bad mood necessarily, but it's the start of it. Okay. So anyway, um, so the one that I showed you was the most traditional, the gold foil. Tattoo artist tarot. Okay. Wait, tattoo tarot. Sorry. I was just thinking because my tattoo artist gave it to me. Um, and this one is pretty close to traditional. And then I showed you this one in the video that I did where I introduced every single card. But this one, the pictures are very non-traditional. This is the Crow Tarot deck, and that one is like super special to me because if you look at the crow on the side there, it's just like this crow that I designed in a tattoo, and it's got a red heart, or I think the one on the box is a red heart, but this is a red star. And I don't know why I designed it that way. I just did because for the longest time as I was drawing it without that, but I was drawing it on a red um, cover. I was in EOD school, and our little books, our manuals that we would work out of. Um, the covers were red, and so I would just like doodle on it all the time, and it makes me wonder like what happened after I got kicked out of school, what happened with my books, because I miss my little drawings that were on them. But anyway, so yeah, this is the Crow Tarot. This came out in 2019, and I designed this tattoo and got it in 2005, like right after Hurricane Katrina. And then the Horror Tarot, this one is this one is probably my favorite out of all of them, just because the symbolism looks so different in the cards. Okay. And then I will show you all these different oracle decks that I have. I went to the Corning Museum of Glass with my mother. She took me and my kids there, and I found this art oracles. And there is so much cool information because I love art. Okay. But I only know like a certain amount of artists. And so there's a lot of them that I know in here. And then there's a lot that I don't really know more about. So it's really cool. Um, the mystical oracle card deck, this one you've seen me use before in readings. Artwork is just incredibly beautiful. The symbolism is incredibly beautiful. They all come with books that explain what the meanings are of everything. And even like readers that, how can I say this? Experienced readers, a lot of times they will just go off of their own intuition for what the card means. But then sometimes they're like, you know what? I specifically want to read this one from the book, because the people who make these, the art that's in them, it's almost like a song, right? Like I've been saying about Rage Against the Machine songs, that they make you feel a certain thing when you listen to them, but you don't know what the feeling was of the writer as, they're writing that. And so that's the importance of these really artistic oracle decks, is that they write a guidebook with it because that was their sort of intended purpose. So you can choose to go off the cuff or choose to read from the book, or a little bit of both. This horror oracle um, that you've been seeing featured, I bought these at the same time because they were right next to each other, and they were from Barnes and Noble. Okay, and all tarot decks and oracle decks, they're usually like about $20, $25, unless they're more specialized and limited, where you can't buy them like in a normal store or whatever. Then sometimes they're more expensive, but they're really affordable. So, it's like, even just to have them around, just to look at them, because a lot of the artwork is so beautiful. And then this I also got at the Corning Museum of Glass. It was like not there at the gift shop. It was like they had like a children's museum and art center and a gift shop connected to that. Or maybe no, there's like an art museum. Anyway, it was in the gift shop of the art museum that I went to. So these are like little matches. It's supposed to look like a little matchbox. Okay. And so we'll get into this. So what I'm going to do is, just to show you that you can do tarot anywhere, anyhow. Um, I'm just sitting out on my patio with this like gross, dirty table that I have out here. It's like a very inexpensive table, so it's all like not straight and whatever. Um, but I wiped it off, and I am going to put out this little thing, and maybe I can push the camera back far enough so you can see it. But of course, I have my microphone in the way, and if I pull the microphone right now, then it's going to pull it'll cancel the video because I changed the audio source. Okay, yeah, all right, we can see. Okay. So I'm just going to start out. I'm going to give each deck the opportunity to say something about itself, I guess, is how we'll consider this. At the bottom of this one, just coming out, is the Ten of Cups. All right. Ten of Cups is just like, it's emotional fulfillment for an entire family, is really what that's about. Okay. And I feel like this deck just has this sense of like beauty to it, right? It kind of looks like jewelry. And I try to shuffle them this way, because when you shuffle them like this way, I have small fingers, short fingers. So a lot of tarot readers have long nails, and the long nails help them to contain the cards, right? But all right. So that is shuffling. And I really don't like to shuffle to where I allow reversals, okay? And then so you're just looking for whatever wants to come out in this deck. It's choosing for itself. At the bottom, I just took notice. It's the Magician. All right. Okay. I think that's probably it. Okay. Let's see. The Tower is at the bottom. The Tower. It's representing change. Okay. So I think that this deck is really good for, like, if you want to see the beauty in change, you can read this deck. All right. Let's see what little story it's telling. Holy cow. It's a lot of like big players in the game. Okay. So we have the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Nine of Cups. And those all came out together. And this deck has been shuffled many, many, many times. So for the fact that all these cups came out together like that, they just fell out like that. So there's some Queen of Cups energy so whenever I'm reading, I have to tell you that it's like I'm reading for me. Okay. So I'm like telling you things about my life right now through this. All right. So I'm sitting like in the Queen of Cups energy now, because I'm attracting emotional fulfillment to me. And it's like, I'll tell you the stories about what's been going on little by little. Because I want you to see that all these things that I have been saying for months now have started showing up in the physical world. There's a really loud train. Hang on. All right, we're just going to keep going because the train is really loud for me, probably not for you. Okay, so if you look at the symbolism of these together, you can see that she is holding a cup. It looks like this knight brought her the cup. And when I see the horses, it reminds me of God, like somebody following their intuition from inside, because it's God is inspiring that movement. Okay. So, and this knight has like wings on the helmet, which to me symbolizes Mercury, and that is like the deliverer of messages. The white horse is white. It's got this like pure light to it. And he's got fish all over his little coat there. And fish symbolize like what's going on in the water, right? That's where emotions are. And so this is like a mature, emotional, the knight is like this 20-year-old energy, of somebody who would be in their 20s. But they are like this emotionally mature 20-year-old, who doesn't operate from their space of trauma. And by doing that, it's like bringing me personal emotional fulfillment. Okay. The Nine of Cups. All right. And it seems like there's a lot of oversight on this. This is like the spiritual oversight on it. Okay. The Hierophant. The Hierophant is like the ultimate teacher from the level of God. And he determines karma and dharma is a good way to say it, So it's not like God chooses favorites, but it's like God has this natural balancing act that like if you're following his word, then your blessings come in, right? If somebody else thinks that they're following the word of God, but they're not, then they are not going to receive blessings in the same amount. It might be in relation to how hard they work for it, right? They might receive something, but like that Queen of Cups energy, it's being drawn in because intuition was being followed. Okay. And it's like, I don't know, they fell out of order, but it's a Hierophant that's coming in with this like spiritual say so. And it's the King of Swords who is coming in. It's like the energy that the Hierophant put into a person because they said, okay, it's time. It's time for her to receive what she deserves. This person came in with this kind of energy of like where they just cut through all the nonsense and just delivered a message in the most direct way possible. Okay. I will explain this later. And here it is, the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is like this gift from God with these like four streams running down from it. And if we think about the significance of four, oh no, it's got five. I never noticed that. I always thought it was four. Um, all I can think of is like, it's like a high five. It's like an emotional high five from God because I'm seeing like the hand right here, which is like the hand of God, and it's got five fingers. And that's what it reminds me of is like, here's a high five. I'm giving you exactly what you asked for. And it's an Ace of Wands. Okay. And this has like some sexual energy. Historically, that's what it kind of represents, but it's more of like creative passion, fire that's like being delivered by God, right? So people have like a confusion between lust and love and all these different things. And it's like the right place for lust is when it is involved in love. Okay. So it's there, it's sent by God, but it is like sometimes people don't know how to discern that. Okay. Or they haven't followed God enough in order to discern it or deserve it in his gifting of it. Okay. So I'm going to put that deck away. Hold up. It was paused at 1333. Okay. So threes are always significant of like Jesus. But when I see a triplet of a number, to me it represents like the Holy Trinity of mind, body, mind, spirit, right? Which was like why I was doing those readings was body, mind, spirit. Because the strongest shape is a triangle, right? Is it not? There's arches that are strong, but the triangle is like has the least amount of sides with the most amount of strength. All right, so at the bottom of the deck, as this came out, it was the Queen of Coins, and it's like, um, this deck to me represents more of the physical world because it has tattoo elements to it. Okay, so it's almost like it's a little bit of a healing message from trauma. All right, that's the feeling that I get from this deck. So the Queen of Coins is like, girl, you're finally doing what you're meant to do. It's like it doesn't matter if you're getting paid by the hour, if you're working for somebody else. This is what it is. Okay, I got another Ace of Wands. These are just so beautiful. I'm not going to take that many because I want to get through all these in a timely fashion. Okay, we're just going to leave it at that. I think more wanted to come out, but it's fine. King of Wands. Okay. Okay. The world. I had already said many, many times that I had made the wreath in my room where I do the recordings because it was symbolic of completing an old world and starting out in a new one. So that's verification of that. Four of Wands. All right. Four of Wands is like marriage, stability. As you notice, there's a diamond here. Okay. So definitely, right? Diamonds represent marriage. Ace of Swords. That's like there are such powerful cards that are coming out in this reading because there are a lot of like major arcana and just high level energy from the minor arcana. All right, which minor arcana is like basically like a deck of cards, a regular playing deck of cards is the minor arcana. Okay, so that's why I will teach you how to like um find messages within regular cards. And I think that that would be interesting to integrate into a card game, like if you're playing with your friends and family, to see kind of like what they hold in their hands, right? And to see what they discard and things like that, because then you can start to read a message that's just, it's just a little bit more amusing to your brain. So the Ace of Swords is like new ways of communication. It's new thought patterns gifted by God. Nine of Wands. That is the Wounded Warrior card. Okay. You can't tell it in this one, but it's like this arrow right through all the wands kind of represents that there is pain in carrying too much creativity without having a place to put it. And then the Ace of Wands is like when you can put all that stuff down and you just choose the wand that was given to you by God, then your creativity, that's where it's most valuable. Okay. And again, it's like this King of Wands is this energy of, it's an energy that I feel like I'm being inspired by now because I feel like I'm protected in a way that I didn't used to be. And so now I don't have to worry about my messages, how they're presented, how I look when I'm giving them, where I record them. You know, I don't have to think any less of myself now because I am being valued by somebody else. Okay. Besides myself. So I'll put that one away. Because if you think of like scars and tattoos and things like that, people usually get them at the end of some significant cycle. Okay. And that's what it reminds me of. It's like this deck very much reminds me of like trauma cycles and just finding your way out of them finally. All right. The Crow Tarot. I love this one. These are like my little spirit guides, right? Crows. I think most of the people who know me, when they see crows, they think of me. They're like, "Oh, that's Dale saying hi," right? And that's just because I'm a weirdo no matter where I go, and people just know it. Like the only reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is because I've heard now for so many years that people were like, I know we met in the army or whatever, but I always saw you doing something differently. I always saw you for like doing something more. And I'm like, why? People don't tell you that in the moment. They have ways of telling you, but they don't really tell you in the moment. So that's the benefit of time is that when the time has passed and then people see you again, it's like they're willing to admit what they were thinking about you back at the time when they knew you previously. And what it helps to do is confirm these things that you knew about yourself and that when your energy with that person was like when you didn't really understand it, um it helps you to give some like it helps bring clarity to certain things that you like thought you felt you knew what that was going on, and then it just brings it to yeah, it just brings it into focus. Okay, only time can do that. Hindsight is 2020, right? At the bottom of the deck we have Three of Pentacles, and that means like building with your tribe. It means building a new world with your tribe, like um building a new business, just building something in the physical world that it's all with people who want to go in the same direction. Okay, that's the benefit of it. So we have the Seven of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles is like waiting for your garden to grow. It doesn't depict it like that in this, but it's like you're sitting on your eggs, right? You're waiting for them to hatch. That's what that is. It's like that you have to wait for the abundance, but it's going to happen just naturally unless you come along and destroy it somehow. And then strength. And this is the eight card. It is the eight card in this deck. I swear I was like looking through the other card and it was something else. So maybe we'll find it. But anyway, the strength card, it's number 8, but it's got the infinity symbol here. And the strength is about this crow. It's not about the lion. It's about the crow. And like normally it's depicted as a woman. So this is what I like about this deck is that a lot of people on YouTube are like sensitive about their decks because in traditional tarot, there's nudity on the decks, right? So when you have something that takes humans out of the equation and just puts it in the form of like animals, spirit animals, it gives you just a different sense of it. This deck is like very soft to me. It's yeah, it's just very soft. That's the best way to say it. Like the roses on the lion, it's about having strength in your feminine energy, okay? And we all have to have feminine and masculine energy. And when we don't utilize it properly within us for balance, then we get all out of whack, okay? So I'm going to try to teach you how, even if you're a man, you have feminine energy and you need to use it. When you're a woman and you have masculine energy, I mean, if you are a woman, you definitely have masculine energy and how to use that properly, okay? So we've got the 7 of Cups, and that is about like, it's about so many things that could fulfill you emotionally, but not knowing which one to choose. But in this deck, it really is looking at like this laurel wreath, right? To rest on your laurels, but to understand that what will emotionally fulfill you is what will put you in your spotlight. Because there's another card, the 6 of Wands, where that's about being recognized for your creative endeavors. And the crow is like sitting in this laurel wreath, okay? But you cannot rest on your laurels. That's what it's talking about. It's like, I may not have wanted this. I may not have wanted to be seen in public, but I've I've been training for it my whole life. If I look back and look at all the things that I trained for, it was like Dale Carnegie classes, and I trained to be a teacher. And when I was in the army, I had to like lead formations, because when you go to professional leadership development course, you you're actually like in the school usually with a bunch of soldiers that you are not familiar with. And so you have to all kind of integrate together. And no matter what your rank or what, because when I went there, it was called WLC at the time, Warrior Leadership Course or something. There were a lot of Rangers in my class, and Rangers are like kind of badass, and you're not supposed to associate them if you're with them, if you're normal army, you're just like not in the mix of them. So when I was like in PLDC, I had to critique and lead some rangers, okay? And so it was interesting. It was interesting. Maybe I'll tell you some of the backstory on that eventually. Okay, we got 10 of Cups again, but just look at how soft and beautiful it is in this. It's like the rainbow is talking about like the integration of all of your energy centers, right? It's like in your human form, you just look like a person, okay? You just look like a person, but you're emitting like photons. You are a being of light. And because if you weren't, you couldn't be seen. So, but like white light, you don't see that it's made up of the rainbow until you fracture it, right? In a prism. Okay. So it's like there's just this complete like fulfillment of all parts of your energy, right? That it's not just like, oh, it's not just the sun being cast upon you. It's like that there's this spiritual blessing all over. We get the 4 of Wands again. Okay. So we're getting repeating messages. All right. There's stability. There's stability in my life right now that wasn't there previously. Um, there's a 2 of Swords, and that is like blind indecision, like not knowing what it's like. This did not come in because I made the decision for it. It happened when I was like blindfolded to what was going on around me. It was not me who decided to make communication. It was not me who decided. I mean, I did a little bit. I had to say yes, right? So that was like when I made the decision to 8 of Cups, turn away from all of the emotional baggage of the past, like all of these cups that people had left empty in my past, and realize like I just have to go off into the darkness of like the unknown, because there's no sense in turning back to all this stuff. I already know what was there for it. Okay. So we're going to leave it off at that one, at that pause. Before I put this deck away, I want to make sure, because I was just shuffling up to put it away, and I realized like, oh, I didn't say who this video is dedicated to. This is to my friend Michael, who I got him a tarot deck. Okay. He's he's so cool. We've known each other for at least 20 years, right? 21 years, but we don't see each other. I saw him last in like 2005. Yeah. And then uh, just at the end of 2024. Okay. It was like up until New Year's Eve. It was just like the last 2 days of the year. So, but he was the one that told me about this show, Wheel of Time. All right. So I'm dedicating this video to him because he was the one who said, I'd be interested in you doing a video on why you would use different decks. So this is to you, Mikey. The Wheel of Fortune came up. And just as I was thinking about like, oh, I didn't dedicate this video to you, as I was shuffling it up, this was the last deck that showed up. So this is definitely for you. Okay. All right. So next, let me do this Botticelli one, because it's going to come out, anything that comes out. Hang on. Okay. There are just like a lot of trains that keep passing by. What I was trying to say is that this one has to be shuffled up, and it will probably show up in like where certain cards come out together. But you know what? This deck, that's the importance of like choosing your decks too, is that they all have a different texture and size, right? And so you're gonna have different feelings just based on like what it's made out of. Let's just see what all that is. And let's leave it at that. Okay. At the bottom of the deck is the Six of Pentacles, which means equal give and take, but I just felt the need to move on from that and see what else is there. The Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is like when you can't sleep at night because of your thoughts, but the way that it's depicted in this deck, it does not look the same way as it would in a traditional tarot deck, because she looks like she's praying for the one truth, right? The one thought that will get her out of this space of all these swords being around her. Okay. So it looks very peaceful, much more peaceful. And that's what I think about this deck, is that it is like, it's just got this beautiful artwork that seems like it was all commissioned by God. Okay. So we've got the Queen of Chalices, which is the Queen of Cups. And I told you that was like coming out in the first reading. That is drawing in your emotional abundance. Okay. But she's also writing. And that is like the importance of writing, like journaling. Okay. That's awesome. So it's probably that I'm finally ready to write, because I have tried writing over and over and over again, like writing a book. And it's probably like, hey, when you have a handle on your emotions, you can write a whole lot easier. Then we have the moon. The moon, I love the moon. Being out in the moon, or like, at night when the moon is up, even when the moon shows up, like right now, if I were to find it, I bet it's up in the sky and it just looks sort of like a cloud, because when the moon is about like halfway full and moving in towards a full moon, I feel like that's when you can see it during the daytime, like right around, I don't know, even like 10 a.m. sometimes. So anyway, things are not as clear in the moonlight. Oh my gosh. You cannot see that as clearly as I can, but it's like a lobster and this is super significant for something that happened recently. Okay. So I will tell that in another video, because that's what all of these cards are talking about. And, yeah, I owe credit where credit is due, but this one is just so beautiful, but she's almost like got her chest covered. Like you can't see the truth, or like she's like trying to stay warm or something like that. Yeah, but there's not all this symbolism that's normally there, though there is some of it, that little lobster at the bottom there. So anyway, let's just keep going. Oh my gosh, for the sun and the moon to come out together. I'm telling you, these are not like, you just saw me shuffle them all up. They can't just possibly stay in the same order, but that is like divine partnership of energy. Okay. There's like the moon reflects the light of the sun. The moon does not have its own light. Okay. And that is like a proper relationship within yourself and outside of yourself. It's like the darker parts of you, you have to reflect the light into those areas. And if you think about the changing of the moon cycle, that the world is in the way. Okay. That's why the moon looks the way that it does. Why it's like a crescent moon, waxing, waning, full, new, is based on like where the earth is in relation to where the sun is, and then how much sunlight gets through to reflect off of the moon. Okay. So you have to understand that what's going on inside of you, it's not always going to be the same. As far as like your emotions, they are more fluctuating with the phases of the moon. Okay. And then even the sun, it's like the sun has been out for the past couple of days, but it's like not a bright sunny day where we can see shadows on the ground. Okay. But the sun is still there. So you have to realize that there is a balance of like your own fire and then your own like water. And that's kind of what the moon is representative of. It's more emotional, Okay. So what else? We've got Judgment. All right. And that is sort of like I've said it before, that Judgment Day is your atonement for your sins, kind of. It's more about like karma and dharma, balance, yin and yang, these different things. And that's what all of this is about, honestly. It's like it's showing this balance of energy in a different way. And it's that Judgment Day has come to pass. It's coming to pass right now. And it's starting to expose who followed their heart and who followed their mind, who followed the lies of the land. The laws of the land are the lies of the land to keep certain people in power, and who held on to the things that they knew were powerful inside of them because it was the truth. Okay. All right. Then we have the King of Wands again. All right. We just saw it in the Tattoo Tarot. And that is this masculine energy that when that masculine creates something, it's like they don't even have to sell their idea just because they have such clout that people are just excited for when they create something. They want this invention by that person, or they want this business from that person, or they want what this person has to say because it's coming from a place of like this fiery growth place within them. Nine of Wands. Again, it's the Wounded Warrior card, but it's not showing it in this deck, right? One, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, all of the nine wands are behind him. But what I notice is that this man is carrying a wand, and well, it's like I don't know what you would call it, a hatchet of sorts. And then he's walking beside the horse, and then there's a peacock on top of the wand. So again, it's sort of like only one wand matters. Peacocks are representative of beauty and all kinds of things. I can't even remember all the things, but they have eyes right on their feathers. When their feathers are expanded, they have all these different eyes to like see out, and I think probably to confuse predators and things, but there's just so much symbolism. But anyway, it's like he's taking it slow right now because he's gone through a lot. He's gone through a lot in the past, okay? So he already knows what's important. So he doesn't have to rush into it. And then the 10 of wands, and that's when you finally like rest and let go of all of those wands because they were just such a creative burden. They kind of took you out. And that's in the space where it reminds me so much of A Midsummer Night's Dream, which is a Shakespearean play. And I love it. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. It's like when you lie down like this and you go to sleep, that's the time in which you can receive healing beyond your own abilities or beyond like what the standard medical diagnoses would like tell you and treat you for. Okay. So I'm going to pause it. Okay. This is the last deck I'm going to work with today. Then maybe I'll get back for the oracle cards, but I don't think so. That's probably where I'm going to leave off today because my son has a basketball game and he's got to go there like ASAP. So opening the cards from the box, the lovers is on the bottom, and you see like this woman is looking at this what looks like a devil. Okay. What I like about this energy so much, what I like about the energy of this deck so much is that it reminds me so much of my favorite movies, the old Crow from 1994 and the new Crow from 2024. And it's like they are very dark. They are very dark, and most people would not. I'm sorry, I'm just watching the birds and the trees. Okay. Okay. Um Most people would look at that and be like, that's fucking weird, right? That's scary. And when I see this, it's like the gentle look on this angel's face. It's not really a devil, it's like an angel. Okay. The woman is looking at it and the oh, it's a squirrel. Sorry. Squirrel. Um, so the woman is recognizing that like there's something divine going on here right now. And like a woman really, she kind of like understands God, I think, because he speaks within her. And I feel like that's what's going on here. But like a man who is really, really in love, he he will like thank God for his woman, but he sees God in his woman. Okay. Whereas like women kind of look out at this world of men and they're like, are you a predator or are you like safe? All right. So that's the significance of that. But this is like, it's the lovers. It's a beautiful card, right? But you have to choose. Are you going to choose to trust God in this thing or are you going to like get in the way of it? And then there's the Two of Cups. And I just shuffled the deck around a little bit. Um, and the Two of Cups is sort of like, this is like the start of a new relationship. And it's like where it's just the man and woman, where you don't see like the divinity behind it. It's just like the comfort of that thing. Okay. So how is that really possible that I just split it again to okay, the lovers? Okay. So I'm just going to shuffle it up just a little bit. And now I'm seeing the Three of Swords. And that is like that heartbreak card. Uh, but that's not what this is about. It's like, this is like the after the heartbreak card, but that perhaps somebody else is experiencing it because they're stuck in their thoughts about something that, I'll say it again and again and again and again. That heartbreak occurs in the mind and thoughts, not like physically in your emotions. Okay. Okay. We're just gonna leave it off at that. And then the Six of Pentacles. So we came up on the Six of Pentacles and the other deck when it came out of the box. That is equal give and take. That is equal give and take. And this is like, in this one, there's a goat. It almost looks like, Satan is represented by the goat, but it's like, there's nothing evil about this deck. What I'm saying is that, you need to be friends with the light and the darkness, okay? Because if you are friends with the darkness, it lets you pass through. It lets you pass through and it respects you because you can come into that space and you can help people out of it, all right? So that's the benefit of this deck. This is almost like the darkness saying, like, I love you too, right? The Botticelli one feels very godly. This one feels very much like the shadows that are saying, look, we love you too. And we thank you for, like, not necessarily serving us, but respecting the dark too, because there's some people who just have to live in that place and it has to exist because they doubted God, right? Like Lucifer was an angel and he wanted to challenge God for power. And so he became a fallen angel. All right. So it's just like his land of guilt. This earth plane is the land of Lucifer's guilt. It's like thorns on a rose are there because we need to respect um duality. All right. So we have the 10 of Wands. Again, that is the third time. 78 cards in all of these decks. The 10 of Wands is like, it is the release of all the old stuff, all the stuff that was not helping before. It was like I was carrying all this creative burden for everybody else. I was doing all this work for everybody else. And it's like I had to drop it. I realized I am no good to anybody if I'm always splitting my energy into everybody else. And then we have the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles is usually indecision. But this one very much looks like the joining of hands, right? It's like we're doing this together. Okay. It's like normally it's one person juggling two pentacles. This is like, listen, we're going to take our two pentacles and we're going to put them together because we can multiply them that way. All right. Then we have the King of Pentacles. Look at how, like, if this were your man, right? Do you think that anybody could come up and like take anything from him? So it's like, maybe it's scary, but that is the dark, that is the power of the dark, of like powerful darkness that isn't overtaking. It's just like super wise in the dark. All right. So this King of Pentacles energy is like, that's what's defending and protecting money. All right. And then we've got the Hierophant again. Okay. So the Hierophant is um, that spiritual judge where they say, yes, you are deemed worthy, or no, you are not. You have to repeat a cycle. Okay. But in this, it's like, now you finally fucking passed. Right. All right. The Ace of Cups is the gift of love from God, all right? Complete emotional fulfillment. And then the Knight of Wands. This is like the Knight of Wands. There's like two sides of it, okay? There's like the Knight of Wands could be represented as a player, somebody who's just coming in because they want like sex or they have lust or whatever, or it's like this fiery energy that has this youthfulness about it, like a 20-year-old. Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's like it can be in a positive way to where it's coming through and setting fire to all the mess of the past, right? And so I am going to leave it off at that. That was fun for me. Thank you, Michael, for this request. And then I have another one that I owe you that you requested, so I will do that one. All right, I love you guys. Bye.